The Nazruddin Nabi and Kaizer Chiefs drama continues because Far Post have now published another article talking about what exactly happened between Nabi and Kaizer Chiefs. And here's the gist of the story. After the loss to Sekhukhune, the very following morning, Nabi was called in and he was told, you are being suspended because we are investigating you. So you'll be suspended while the investigation to your coaching license is being done. So then, as soon as that meeting ended, shortly after that, Kaizer Chiefs indeed confirmed that, oh, Nabi's papers are legit and there's nothing wrong with that. So then they took back the suspension letter and Nabi is not suspended. But that action alone of suspending someone for suspecting that something is wrong with their papers, either fake or expired, then apparently broke down the already eroded trust between the two parties. Now, that is very key thing to me because the fact that there was already something going on in the background about Nabi and the management tells me that there is a lot going on. And we're going to break down this and what this means and what actually happened. But there's another layer to this because the SABC, Andile, and who's this guy? Umazola, who reported that Kaizer Chiefs Vele, who first reported about this whole thing of coaching license not being there or being suspected to not be there. They then talked about the fact that the story about PK, remember that story after Chiefs won the Nedbank Cup of Nabi is going to be fired and whatnot. That story was true. Chiefs did want to fire Nabi. And in fact, in the interview with Robert Marawa, they did say that, hey, the coach is still with us. The coach is contracted to us. But we still want to finish in the top 8, want to go to Africa, which he made them qualify by winning the Nedbank Cup. But it did not qualify for the top 8, which they were clear and they said, that's not the place we want to see ourselves in. So that means from the back end of last season, the management was not happy with Nabi. Nabi wanted certain players as well in the transfer market. He said if they don't get him players, then he won't be staying. But now he's staying, but there are rumors that, well, it's not rumors, this reports that the relationship was not good at all already, which tells me that something is going on below the surface. Because if you're looking at this at face value, now there are other reports coming back that, oh no, Nabi just terminated his contract with Kaizer Chiefs by mutual agreement because he has to go back and rest and take care of his wife. And I'm like, okay, I said this yesterday. Kaizer Chiefs can afford to bring Nabi's wife to South Africa if they really want him to come back. Nabi can afford to bring his wife here if he really wants to be here. So whatever story that will be given will be a cover story, because the truth of the matter is, we saw in that interview where Chiefs Uchesika and Kaizer Mtaung Jr. are talking to Robert Marau, you can clearly see that Kaizer Mtaung Jr. is not comfortable with the questions about Nabi staying. Is Nabi part of the plans? You can clearly see from how they speak that, no man, they are not comfortable with him. And you also heard Nabi himself. What did Nabi say? Nabi said he spoke to the chairman. Do you remember when I said that? I was like, Nabi spoke to the chairman and he was assured about the players that would be signed in all of those things. So that means he skipped about Jessica, he skipped Abo Junior, he skipped Abo Bobby, and it was straight to the chairman, who I think, since he stepped down Vele, we've seen Chiefs slightly not becoming what it was during his time when he was still fully involved. So that tells me that these ones had made a mistake. Like the fired Abo coach. You remember when Baxter was there after winning the league? Abo Tefuma Shamaite were not given what they wanted. That same squad that wanted some things to be improved in their contracts, Baxter, there are rumors that he still wanted certain things. They were not fulfilled, and then Baxter ended up leaving. So this, to me, seems like it's now a pattern that Kaizer Chiefs will have a coach but clash with him on certain things, and then they will let him go. In this case with Nabi, I just think it's even lower than them. Like, how did they hire Nabi if they hadn't done proper background check on him? Are his papers valid? Number two, Did they not realize that this is the same Nabi who took Yanga to the finals of the CAF Confederations Cup, the qualification? Number 3, if a simple request by Andile of SABC Sport, because he had the certificate of Nabi and was like, yeah, here, it expires in 2026, end of 2026. How did Kaizer Chiefs miss that? And where did the suspicions that Nabi might be a fraud come from? Because now, what is annoying to me is that there are some people who hate Nabi. It's okay, fine. You don't prefer him and all of that. But let's not lie. Let's not now taint the man's name and say that he used fake papers, because there are some people who genuinely believe that Nabi used fake papers. It is not true. Kaizer Chiefs suspended him because they were investigating something, but then they quickly found out that whatever they were investigating was incorrect. And this is what I'm going to tell you, Mina as Umpilo. I do not think there was a whistleblower or anyone who told Chiefs that Nabi is using fake papers. I think they did this on purpose. I think they did this on purpose so that they could force Nabi to resign, because then it would be like, you guys are disrespecting me. I cannot keep on doing this anymore. Because now that's exactly what's happening, because now they are terminating the contract on mutual agreement. Now, I know someone is going to say, Nampilo, you just want Nabi to stay. Listen, Nabi can leave if the management decides that, or they think that he's not a good coach or whatnot. And we'll continue supporting Chiefs because we support the team. But what I do not want is these tactics, these cheap tricks that are being used to manipulate us into believing that a good man who has done nothing and even denied a job in North Africa so that he could stay and coach Kaizer Chiefs. A man who ended a trophy drought of Kaizer Chiefs. Let's not disrespect him. Let's not disrespect a man just because we do not like him. It's okay. If you don't like him, it's okay. It's your own view. I'm not going to tell you how to feel about Nabi. But let's not taint his name like this, because the story is already out. Whether you like it or not, there are some people who will say Nabi was coaching with a driver's license. There are some people who are going to say Nabi was coaching with a passport. In fact, I'm not even going to go far. Someone who's in my contact list was even writing, mocking that he's going to send his plumbing certificate to apply for a job at Chiefs, because apparently that gets a job done. So his reputation, like, you can talk about, oh, he's a bad coach, and then you think this and you think that about his coaching. But let's not start lying. And Kaizer Chiefs, why did this matter come up a day after we lost the match? Something is suspicious. It's clear that they were not happy about the loss, and they've obviously bought in to this idea that Khalil and Kaizer will do better. Now, they can think that. Then just dismiss him, right? We think these two can do a better job going forward, so we're going to part ways with you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Let's not make up stories. There's something wrong with your license. We are suspending you because of that. Where is the shame? Where is integrity? That's my thing. That is what I'm sitting here asking myself. You want to fire the coach? Fire him. It's your team. But be straight with the fans. Don't employ tactics. It's mutual agreement this, it's mutual agreement that. You just wanted him gone. The story leaked after the Nedbank Cup. It wasn't even leaked. It was published. And I don't even remember them dismissing that. They were asked, there are rumors that Nabi is leaving. How true is that? They didn't say, oh, he's not leaving. They just said the coach is contracted to Kaizer Chiefs, because they were still deciding. They even said, even in that interview, oh, there's still going to be a review. They did a review. They decided to keep him. But Vele, it's clear that they were already sitting on the fence about the whole thing of Nabi. So I know the story is going to come out. Nabi is just going back to be with his wife. I will not believe it. I will not believe it, because what I know for sure is that Now, when we put the three stories together, they all make sense. Yesterday, we had said that there's a story about Mazola, about them firing Nabi or firing. It was firing because of breach of contract, because he had fake papers, right? Or something was wrong with the papers. Eskam Togozi said he's suspended, and then the last story said by Lawrence they are parting by mutual agreement. So if you look at these all three stories, they're all connected. Chief suspended Nabi because of the papers. So now you see the Mazola thing comes into the suspension of Mtogozi's Swefa post. And then as a result of this nonsense, then they decide to part ways by mutual agreement. So there is a clear flow there. And my thing that hurts me the most is that we're still going to see people, even in the comment section, talking about something that has nothing to do with this, and they'll be criticizing his coaching. Here, we're not talking about his coaching. We're now just talking about the management and why they decided to do this now and not at the beginning of the season. Because now that means they now have to decide co-coaches, or they elevate one to be the senior coach, or are they going to get another coach? They are going to probably go with co-coaches, and then that's going to change the dynamic. We don't know how long that's going to take for players to adapt to all of that. And by the way, before you say, Vele, these two are better than him, remember that these two, Kaze was with him, Ed Younger, and then Khalil was with him, even in Tunisia, in Morocco. So don't forget that. Whether they are better than him now or not, he's helped them get where they are today. So it is possible that the student can become greater than the master, but the master still imparted knowledge. And the master, when they see the student being better than them, they're actually proud of that. So for those of you who are tempted to insult Nabi and say Khalil and Kaze are better than him, just remember that he's the one who was guiding them all those years back at Yanga, all those years back at ASFAR. So he's been with them, and if he leaves, we'll support them. We're not going to run an agenda against them just because your agenda of Nabi leaving has succeeded. We'll continue supporting Kaizer Chiefs because we're Kaizer Chiefs fans and we don't support individuals. And we will watch you, people who like going up and down, turn on Kaze, turn on Khalil Ben Youssef, because that's what people do. That's why I want to end this video. Umoya wami uphelile today, and I'm just still irritated by this whole thing, because how can you run a professional club in such an amateur way? Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, Khosi aliphela umoya.